Let's get to the part, bro, where you felt like ball was taken away from you, fam. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
Let's get to that. You say you passed the ball to Dorenzo.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing, me and his cousin went to school together, JT.
Mm-hmm.
Small world. So you kick it to him, he makes a layup, bro. I
He
watched
missed
it.
it.
He missed it.
He misses the layup.
Goodness great. And you didn't get the assist. Damn, dog. Come
I
on, Zo.
literally told my wife that I'm like, this my last assist ever.
Bro,
Missed
he
it.
missed it.
He missed
Smoking
it.
layups, like,
Yep.
man. So
I had to watch it a few times. I thought he made it too.
yeah, I thought he made it because you
Nah.
know what I'm saying. He by himself, a little flow. I said, yeah, he good. But then when I looked at the clip, I looked back at you, and then I see you collapse, bro.
Yeah.
What do you remember at that point? You know what I'm saying?
I'll take you back. So when that day, so what was happening when I got back from DR, we was again, I told you I was around Zoe and JT and all them. So what we used to do, and I don't even know if they have this anymore, but we used to go to UNC Charlotte. We all used to get together. We used to play
Pick up. Yep.
pickup. We used to play. We would work out, then we play pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I would leave, and so that morning I left, went to sleep, take a nap, because later on that evening you would go to a pro am and play.
Yep.
So you know you get a 2 a day in. Remember waking up feeling tired, but it's you were doing working 2 a day, so you think that's normal.
Right.
I'm late as always, so I hit Zoe or RJ. I'm like, bro, don't leave me. So I remember driving up their driveway, and they pulling out. I'm like, bro, I'm here. Like, wait. As soon as I don't even remember getting in the car. I remember riding up, telling them not to leave, and then I woke up in the hospital. So the next part is memory. Um, so we get to the game. I mean, not memory, excuse me, from what just stories that I'm hearing. So we get to the game. Mind you, somebody had just passed away a week before that, and so for me, I was like, man, I'm praying for him, a little nervous, whatever the case may be. I think the first quarter goes by, second quarter happens, call a timeout. As they calling timeout, my teammate was like, man, you look out of it. You just sitting there staring at me.
How'd you feel though at the moment? You
I
just
think I felt fine.
got you.
Again, just tired. You know how it be. When you playing
2 days, yeah,
yeah.
bro. Yeah, you going through the motions at this point.
I felt like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I passed it to Zoe. Zoe missed the layup, and then I fell back. Um, the story goes, ICU cardiac nurse just so happened to be at the game. Shannon came in 2 years. She had told me because the program was pretty active.
Yep.
Because I think Jeff McGinnis was doing it, and then Morrow and them took it over. And she had been in 2 years. She decided, I think she said she decided like 30 minutes before to come or a few hours before to come. She was 30 minutes late, and she was in the bathroom. And my wife's brother, my brother-in-law, who I didn't know at the time, the brother's playing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother-in-law's playing in the game. My mother-in-law's at the game. It's my wife's 21st birthday. Again, I don't know them at this time. So I go down. They said it was kind of a huddle around me. And again, Zoe and them probably could tell it better. There was a huddle around me. And there's a few people that started doing compressions. I think Jessica Blair's dad is holding my head. Uh, Miss Claudia is the one who starts doing compressions. And then Kelly comes through. Kelly is the nurse. She comes through. She's the ICU cardiac nurse. And then Cedric Watts. You remember Ced Watts, God rest his soul, his mom, Miss Selena.
Mm-hmm.
Goes against the AD machine, brings it back. They said it was upstairs in the locked closet behind a locked door. And they started doing compressions, and then they started doing, they hit me with the AED, I think 3 times. They shocked me 3 times. And then I believe the ambulance showed up about 8 to 9 minutes after that. And I heard a few different variations of the story. I heard that I slipped into a coma. So I actually had a chance to talk to the paramedics when they were doing the E60 story. So I talked to the paramedics.
And they said your brain was without oxygen for 13 minutes.
Right. That's a key part. So my heart had stopped for 13 minutes. So the compressions is what saved my life, right? Because they're doing compressions, the blood's still flowing through my body. It's basically giving me a chance. And then the AED I'm being hit with the AED is trying to restart my heart, which they did. They got a pulse back, but I was told I slipped into a coma on the way to the hospital. So the paramedic said I was only 2 weeks on the job. I'm in the ambulance. He's like, your body kind of did like a shift like that. And he was like, I knew that you had too much swelling on your brain and you weren't gonna make it.
Mm,
And at the same time, they were like, you're hot. And he's like, so I'm freezing because we're pumping AC into the back of the ambulance. And he was like, when I seen that, he was like, man, he was like, I'd never seen anything like that before. And he was like, I was rethinking, what I was gonna do. That I would still want to, continue. Uh, and my brother, he said he remembers them getting there, them wheeling me in. And he was like the guy, the paramedic, just had his head in his lap. My brother yelling to me like it's gonna be all right, and he was like he remembers them doing kind of compressions uh, in the emergency room. So I slipped into a coma, and then they do what's called therapeutic hypothermia, where they
hmm
essentially wrap your body in ice blankets to bring your body temperature down to give you a better chance of survival.
mm,
So it was interesting. So I was in a medically induced coma for about 48 to 72 hours. Don't quote me on that. I think it was a couple days.
mm.
Woke up. They said it was like it never happened. And my brother talked about it on the ESPN piece. He's like, they told him, it's a 3% chance. And then for me to wake up, I hit my head, not to be paralyzed, not to have any, extensive damage to my heart or my body. It was nothing short of a miracle.
So what was your thought process? Well, so I don't know if you remember this, but when you woke up, people were talking to you, I guess, try to get your thoughts back together. What do you remember from that?
So I'll say when I was in the coma, I was at peace. I hear a lot of individuals say, I seen the light or whatever the case may be, and I wish I could remember. All I know is it was, the Bible talks about that just being sleep, like at peace, and that's what I felt. I do remember I felt like maybe when I was coming out of the medicine was going away and I was coming up from my sleep. I do remember hearing some voices talking, like my mom and them. And as soon as I woke up, they basically just, who are you?
Mhm.
The basic, do I need to go through any physical therapy? Um, and I just remember having mitts on my hand because apparently I was trying to take the wires out. I had to, I couldn't use the bathroom on my own, so tubes, everything was
Right.
everywhere. So I do remember that. And I remember just really just being anxious, like, get me out of here and trying to learn what happened. Because I don't know if
Keeping
y'all,
track of time, Jason. Yeah.
because I don't know if y'all remember what happened. But I had to get those screenings back when we were playing.
Yeah.
I was just getting the screenings and
So but they didn't find nothing
they
then?
didn't find nothing. It was more so like, we know you have an athlete's heart, but you gonna go to Boston, which was Baron Marin was the hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is the name of the disease. He was like specializing the sports cardiology world.
Yeah.
I went to see his son, and it was like, look, we concur with your doctors. Like, you've been playing at a high level, your heart muscles not getting thicker. I guess it's a lot of backstory to that. So we did for a 10-year period. I was going to get checked, but
Mm,
it was almost normal.
yeah.
My heart was normal. I'm doing,
Yeah, because I don't remember
okay.
yeah.
And I right before I came with y'all, my mom, I was hurting, and mom was like, "We're gonna go get you a chest X-ray."
Yeah.
Didn't know what I wanted to do when I was depressed, and I won't get too much into it, man. But I wasn't even sure if my friends were my friends anymore.
Yeah.
We had bonded off of basketball. If
Right,
I can't do this, then I ain't no
right. Well,
naive thinking.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Basketball was your identity, where it's really just kind of what we do.
All of us,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, all of us, bro. Because I went through a transition too. Where I had to, some ball wasn't me. I just played. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And we were good at it, especially when you have the guys that we played with, and
Yeah.
they're playing, and you like. Dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's unfortunate events. I get hurt, I get kicked out of school, you know what I'm saying? Everything that happened was my fault, if you feel me, you know what I'm saying? Once I accepted everything. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You do kind of deal with that depression side
How'd you
of
get
it,
through it?
bro. Reading, bro. Reading, dead ass serious, bro. I just started reading more books about the mind. I got into the Power of Positive Thinking. I started reading 48 Laws of
Good
Power.
book.
Yeah, bro. I started reading Malcolm X autobiography.
Okay.
Well, that kind of woke me up just because he went through so many different roles
Yeah.
in his transition that he thought he was this. He identified as the hustler, but then he realized that was just a role he was playing. He went to the next.
Yeah.
So his whole chapter, bro, his whole book just kind of let me know that these roles I can accept them or not accept them, but also know that I don't have to identify. That's not who I am. It's just what I do.
That's good.
Yeah, bro. So I really had to tap in on books. I
Would you
feel
would you
rooted
say
today,
would you say your son changed your life too?
bro. My son gave me clarity.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? I always could hustle. Like I always figured that part out, but he gave me clarity to the point where instead of jack all trades, let me be a master of one, and off that one I mastered, then I multiply from there. You know what I'm saying? He just gave me different discipline. You know what I mean? Because man, your parents know, but like even your uncle, right? Your brother got kids. But that look they give to you when they're young or when they're just purely innocent,
Mhm.
they're I don't see how somebody can make an excuse why they can't provide when you see that
Oh,
look.
I see what you're saying.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so it put that in me more than anything. Whenever you was talking to the doctors, right? When they was letting you know, I know the first thing you want to know, look, can I play again? How did you accept the fact that you couldn't play?
That's a great question. I didn't realize till this past year,
Mhm.
I had never accepted the fact that I couldn't play. I did. I was. I think you just spoke to this. To be honest with you, um, my wife gave me clarity. I think my wife gave me clarity, and it really wasn't until this year. Just some other stuff going on too, but I never. It was more swept under the rug.
Mhm.
Like I had. Long story short, I had basically. I started the foundation to be real with you to figure out how I could. I knew there was a need there. I knew I wanted to give back. It's in me,
Mhm.
but it was really started how I could stay around basketball.
Yeah.
Not realizing that it's around basketball, but it's the furthest thing away from it.
Mhm.
And how my wife gave me clarity is just really being her. But she basically told me it was okay to feel how I was feeling,
Mhm.
right? In her everyday actions. But more so, I started working with the NBA this year. And working with the NBA, it made me realize like how much I love the game and how much I want to just be around it. And to be honest with you, like really not Steph's too, right? Because we, other than like Spikes and Ish and all of them, he was the person I spent the most time around,
Mhm.
and we're always in the gym.
Yep.
So if I'm not going to see him or playing, I'm not watching the game. But my wife was like, "Look, like she kept telling me to coach." And I was like, "Man, I can't coach. Like I got all this stuff going on. I don't want to be away from you for too long." Blah blah blah. She found this NBA opportunity, and she was like, "Do this," and I'm like, "Man, I don't, whatever." I thought it was more of a, I ain't gonna say beneath me, but it was like, man, I'm 37. I want to start over.
Yeah. Mhm.
She's like, do it. I did it. I got it, and I worked out All Star this past this year, and you know the feeling, man. Just being around the game, being around the professionals, being around, just being around,
Yeah, just being around the aura of basketball, bro. That kind of
and it brought back
yeah.
just like everything. Just like, man, if I could work a 9 to 5 and just be around, cool. So to answer your question, I think, that was
Biggest thing.
really that was the biggest thing. You tell me if I'm wrong. You didn't get to choose when you wanted to stop.
Correct,
It was
correct,
more so like,
correct.
all these things that happen, I'm forced to.
Yes, yes. I felt more after I tried to go overseas. I played in Mexico, and then we went to. Then I had to try it in Paris. Dude ended up not even showing up after I
Oh,
flew out there, bro. Me and my
you had to
uncle.
pay?
Yeah, I paid for my flight, and then me and my uncle, the dude was like, "Yeah, you come to the tryout," and it was a team in Paris or whatever. So man, bro, we go out there, bro. Dude never showed up, bro. Never showed up. So at that moment for me, it was like, cool, let me dive deep into business. Like, you know what I'm saying? My dad didn't let me work when I was younger, so I always sold DVDs, bootlegs,
Just
all that.
hustle.
Yeah, hustle, all that, bro. So I just kind of pivoted into, hustling, man. Really just,
Yeah.
now I'm in real estate, day trading stock, things of that nature.
I follow you. You doing
Yeah,
your thing, man.
yeah, bro. Man, I just bought some land and shit. I'm about to build
It
something in a little small town, man.
what we got. But, like you said, answer your I tried to go to counselor, I tried to go to therapy. It wasn't.
Have you fully accepted it though, all the way? About like, I know it was taken from you, meaning that you just didn't feel like you got the chance to put it down. You felt forced. Do you ever think you're gonna just truly accept that?
You know what's funny? I bring up like, working with the league this year.
Hmm.
I think this year.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
literally sat down. It's funny you asked me this because I sat down yesterday. I was at the car wash, and I was just cool. I had always thought I needed to be in front of people, do this, do certain things, and I was like, man, working with the league, just being around. And I don't know if it's because like a lot of my people too is kind of like retiring.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just to be honest with you, like, when it happened to me there in the thick of thing, I'm like, damn man, like I used to do this, I used to do that. I think so. I think I'm content with it, but I think it's because I'm back around it.
Yeah.
I'm not chasing for something.
Yeah. For me, bro, it's just coaching for me. Like really, just really, I was coaching high school. My little man see me now. He's of age. He's 10. We do a lot of travel ball. He trains.
That's what's
So
up.
I just really pour back into him the foundations because we didn't train when we was little. We just played.
That's different.
Yeah,
We sure didn't. We was
yeah,
constantly in the gym.
yeah. We just played. So I just try to incorporate the old school way in practice when I let them compete 1-on-1, 3 dribbles. Winners, losers got bear crawls, stuff like that. So I implement that at a young age for them.
I'm. It's funny because I hated it then. I miss
Mhm.
it now because what our parents used to say. If I knew, I wish I knew.